Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So it's the end of the month, last day of the month, and we're going to be doing new albums purchased or album hauls if you're one of those people that like that phrase, which I do as well. I only have 10 this week. I'm going to give you them in a certain order. Almost all of them are used albums I've picked up from various thrift stores and the record store that I always go to. And I have one new one, which I will give you at the end. So we'll get started with the more obscure stuff. This is older rock. So we got this Elvis Presley Christmas album. I'm going to be doing a series on the 50s, so I'm trying to get an album to cover each of the props for the guys I'm choosing. So hopefully it makes it a little more interesting. So this is a Christmas album, basically not too much to show here, just a couple of shots of Elvis there, and a little bit of notes and some note liners as far as the songs and who's on the album and that kind of stuff. Normal stuff, nothing abnormal here. Got this for pretty much next to a couple bucks at one of the thrift stores. So yeah, Elvis. Well, it's a Merry Christmas album. I always like this kind of Christmassy stuff. I'm not a big Christmas album kind of guy. I like him and Bing Crosby, and that's about it. Maybe some Nat King Cole here and there. The next guy up is also going to be featured in this series when we come up, and that's Chuck Berry. So I managed to get this. I actually was surprised to see this because it's often hard to find anything from him anywhere. But I saw it, had to have it. It's got a lot of stuff on it that I like. Maybelline's on here. Sweet Little 16, Johnny B. Good, of course. And, of course, My Ding-a-Ling, which was the song that kind of introduced me to him back in the early 70s. Yeah, Roll Over Beethoven's on here as well. Brown-Eyed Handsome Man. So interesting. So we're going to do some Chuck Berry as well. So this is just a millennial, one of those Century Masters albums. Nothing really special about it. As you can see, it's just a booklet that folds out and a bunch of yellow colored and green colored stuff. And Chuck Berry there on guitar. This is just basically a little bit of a kind of a slow, quick story about Chuck Berry on it. Nothing too fancy here, and a little bit of a list of where the songs came from, his albums that they came off of. And so that's it. Chuck Berry's the second album today. Next up, we got a couple of albums that I've been looking for a while. I got one. Actually, I'll give you the one I got first. So this is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Elton John. I do like Elton John's first, I'm going to say 7 albums, and I think this was the 7th one. Yeah, I believe this was his 7th album. Yeah, I like the first 7 quite a bit, and then it kind of starts to go off into a direction I don't care for too much, so not really interested in buying them. But it's got some nice shots of here, people playing on the album. There you go. Get a good look there. Elton John on the top there on a bench. Davy Johnston, Dee Murray, Bernie Taupin, and Nigel Olsson all on this album. This is one of his better albums. It's got some nice stuff going on the inside. Almost got a 50s flavor to this album, but a lot of his early stuff has that kind of 50-ish flavor to it, which I always liked, and that's part of the reason why I always liked the early Elton John stuff. Years ago, he was one of my first guys I got into, and I never really followed him much. I did see him once back in 1990, and when I was in New Zealand, and he didn't do anything from this period. He only did all of the love ballads from the 1980s. It was very disappointing. I mean, he's a great singer. I loved his piano playing and stuff, but boy, it can only take so much of that, right? So that's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. The other one I got was Tumbleweed Connection. I believe this is his debut album. Lots of good stuff on here. Very a very, to me, it's a classic kind of Elton John album. Doesn't have any big hits or anything on it, but really good, solid album from back in 1970. I like the cover quite a bit too, if you can see that. I'm going to take the booklet out and show it to you what we got here. Album's in good condition. Got this one and the other one, both from the records from Encore Records in Kitchener, where I go all the time. Some nice shots here. Nice little booklet. Lots of pictures of different stuff. And of course the lyrics for all of his songs, which is something I quite like when I want to learn an album. Nothing better than having the lyrics to kind of get you into it. Another couple of pictures, Elton John and Bernie Taupin. I think there's pictures of everybody in here. Paul, Gus, Robin, Leslie, Nigel, Caleb, all kinds of stuff here. More pictures on the back. David Glover, sorry. Roger Pope, Ian Duck. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in here. Interesting little book on it. So I got that too, and I'm hoping that he'll get some more stuff so I'd like to get those first 7 for sure. So I got the first one and the 7th one, so I got 5 in the middle I gotta grab. Next up, we're gonna move on to a little bit more modern stuff. Well, it's not so modern, but modern to me. Supertramp's Free as a Bird. This is, I believe, their I think they had one other album that came out in between this and the last album by Roger Hodgson, and I think it's the one with the very long progressive rock song on it, the album that I've been looking for. But I took this one. I don't know anything about this album. I've never listened to it, but it was one I didn't have, so I got it. 9 tracks in total. Again, a used copy from the record store. It's in reasonably good condition. Not as good as I normally get for him, for them, but still not too bad. Yeah, on this album is just Rick Davies, John Helliwell, Dougie Thompson, and Bob Seidelberg, or Seidelberg, however you want to say it. Yeah, it's just a typical book, nothing special. There's a picture of the 4 of them there. No Roger Hodgson. This is after his departure from the band. So it's all Ricky Davis singing. I'm fine with that. I like Ricky's voice quite a bit. I probably actually like his voice more than Hodgson's voice, but I do like Hodgson's voice too. He sings a lot of their kind of big, well-known songs too. Next one up. So we're going to get into the hard rock for the next couple. This is Fighting from Thin Lizzy. I've been on a bit of a Thin Lizzy kick lately. I think I got 2 in the last, one in each of the last months, so it brings me up to like 5 of them now. Don't know much from here. I think there's a couple tracks on here I'm a little bit familiar with, but not overly. This was produced by Phil Lynott as well. Didn't know I stuck the receipt in there. So it's just a little thin book, nothing special. A little discussion on the band's history and stuff, and then a list of the songs. I don't think there's any lyrics in here. Yeah, no lyrics at all. But decent enough book. This jewel case has a crack in one of them. I noticed it. Kind of funny that it's behind the sticker though. That's weird. Anyways, yeah, album's in good condition. Oh, what's going on here? It's trying to come apart here. Album is in good condition. The jewel case, not so much. But, there you go. Fighting from Thin Lizzy. Next up, this is an album I've wanted for a while. I keep picking it up, looking at it, putting it back, because I keep thinking I have it, but I don't. I've done some topics on this. Not this particular, like this, I've done topics where I've used this album on, that's what I'm trying to say. So this is Deep Purple's Perfect Stranger. I think this is kind of a reunion album. This is when they got back together in '84. I think this is the album. I'm pretty sure this is the album that they did when they got back together, the Mark II lineup with Of course, Richie Blackmore, Roger Glover, Ian Gillan, John Lord, and Ian Pace, the Mark II lineup. So I think this is the album. Knocking on Your Back Door, great tune. Love that song. Perfect Strangers, of course. Yeah, I think this is the album. The album I have is a live album called, it's Perfect, it's Stranger something, but I'm not can't quite remember what it's called right now. Good shape. Album's in good shape. Comes with a little book. Another thin book. So probably, yeah, just the lyrics basically. And then on the back, you've got some information on the band. So nothing special there, but was happy to get the album. Quite happy to have it. It'll definitely get played a lot, I'm sure. Perfect Stranger, Deep Purple. Next up, two from the same band, but we'll talk about this one first. This is Visionary from Eloy. I think this is a newer one. Yeah, this is the newer of the two from 2010, I believe. Album's in good condition. Another used one that I bought. I do like the booklet's a little thicker than most, so you got this nice kind of interesting kind of, I don't even know what you call that. Is that like almost like a Medusa type face on the back, and then this Visionary at the front, another thing like that, very similar. Lots of kind of the same type of pictures going on. You've got the lyrics for everything, of course. This is just basically different angles of the same mask going on throughout the whole album. And yeah, another one. And there you go. There's the band members at the back here. So Visionary from Eloy. So my Eloy collection has grown by a couple more because I'm going to give you another one in about 2 seconds. As soon as I get this back in where it belongs. Jewel case is in good condition. I paid a little bit more than I normally like to pay for these, but I wanted this one especially. Floating. Eloy, this is one of their early albums from 1974. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is their second album, their sophomore album. It's a kind of an interesting cover. I don't know what's going on here. Looks very kind of psychedelic, actually. See if I can get it open. Doesn't seem to want to come apart. Oh, there we are. So again, disc is in good shape. This one is a more solid jewel case than you normally get. Not much to the booklet, kind of thin. Some nice pictures and lyrics and stuff. Another shot of the four of them there. And I guess it's the lyric page for all of them, and then you've got a list of the songs on the back and stuff. Normal stuff, nothing outstanding. But was happy to get this one. I'm a big fan of these guys, as you know. I think this is like my 8th and 9th plus a live one, so I've got 10 albums by them. I mean, I think they've got about 20 studio albums, maybe somewhere between 20 and 25, but I think it's closer to 20. And the last album we're going to do tonight, this one was the big expense of the week, but saw a preview on Brendan Snyder's channel on this album, listened to him talking about how the tracks were set up, what was on, what he was doing, all that kind of stuff. He's very detailed. You got to like the way he lays it out. Convinced me that I had to have this one. So this is David Gilmour's new album. This is the Luck and the Strange Concerts. Now, normally I don't buy live albums from these type of bands because it's usually just another version of songs I've already got a lot of. But this one, in this case, he does play quite a bit of stuff that doesn't normally get played by Pink Floyd. So I liked that. That was a big appeal to me. Plus some of his own stuff, his later stuff. I'm not a big fan of his earlier stuff, but I do like some of his later stuff. And I think the sound quality is supposedly very good. The Great Gig in the Sky is on this as well. Come Back to Life. Yeah, I've got Piper's Call here. Stuff that you don't normally normally get from him on his albums. And so now I'm going to just open it because this is a new album. So it's sealed tighter than the drum on the plastic wrap. I believe this is a what they call a digipack. Not a big fan of digipacks, but sometimes they're not too bad. In the case of this one, it comes with a booklet in the middle. It does have the disc, and unfortunately the disc is a side disc, and you try to pull it out without scratching it, and that's always a difficult thing to do. There's two discs in here. I'm not going to bother trying to pull them out, but that's what you got here. And in this case, it has, as you can see, you can push them out, which is often a better way to do it. And you don't end up with fingerprints and everything all over the disc. Brand new disc. Orange is the color here. Yeah, I prefer the jewel cases, or if they're going to give you a digipack, at least put the digi thing in the middle so you can click them in. Or even sometimes I don't mind it if they have them in sleeves that you can pull the whole sleeve out and then pull it out. That I can handle as well. But see, like I already got fingerprints on this thing and I haven't even played it yet, so I'm not a big fan of that. But other than that, it's pretty good. Got a nice shot of the stage here, full on open for the whole stage in 3 different pictures. You've got this booklet, which I'll go through a little bit with you. Opening page, and you've got all kinds of different shots of them on stage playing various different things. There's a shot of the audience. So it's a whole kind of experience. It would have been nice. I don't think it has that. What is this? It says recorded live in 2025 at Brighton Centre, UK, Rome, Royal Albert Hall, Circus Maximus from Rome, Italy, Royal Albert Hall from London, UK, Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California, and Madison Square Gardens in New York. So these are all different venues that they played, and they pick and choose and put together this album. Doesn't say the 2 CDs. It's all songs. It would have been nice if they'd had, like a lot of these sometimes will have like the 2 concerts, or the concert on CDs, and then have a DVD of the whole concert live. But I guess because it was broken up in different concerts, they decided not to do such a thing. There's more pictures here. That's pretty wild. That's a typical Floyd look to it. Laser show everywhere. Must have been quite the concert. I like David Gilmour quite a bit as a person. I love his voice. I love his guitar tone. I love the 2 albums that he did after. I don't count Endless River, but the other 2, Division Bell and drawing a blank. Anyways, the 2 that he did after Roger Waters, I like them quite a bit. I know that Roger Waters has been critical of the lyrics on them, so they're not masterpiece lyrically, but they have a very Floyd-ish sound to them, and I do enjoy that sound. I think to me, when I think of Pink Floyd, I think of, and the voice, I always think of Gilmour's voice. To me, that's the voice of Pink Floyd. The other guys can sing too. This is really good. Yeah. So anyways, a nice thing. I'm looking forward to playing this. It'll probably get played this weekend sometime. It was the big purchase ticket for the month for me. So there you go. David Gilmour's The Luck and the Strange concert. I guess that's him standing in front of looks like an orange moon there. Yeah, and a nice picture of him on the back with his guitar. So that's my big ticket item for the week. For the month, sorry. So that's my list of new albums purchased for the month of October. Hope you enjoyed the issue. Please hit the like and subscribe. We'll be back at the end of November, of course, for another episode of New Albums Purchased. And I hope to see you all throughout the month. So take care, have yourself a good evening, and good night here from the Prog Monster.